Well, this was a pleasant surprise. I don't think anyone saw this coming. But yeah, Marvel just released Secret Wars Part 1. I don't know, there was no build up to it. There was no trailer. Well, there was some build up in the other movies, but there was no trailer, nothing to hype people up. And they just suddenly one day, boom, we're putting it out in theaters. And I was like, screw it, I'm going to be one of the first people to watch it. So I went and watched it in theaters. And here's my review for Secret Wars Part 1. Warning, this will contain some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, go check it out. It's incredible. It's truly what Marvel needed it back to come back again. And I'm even more excited for Deadpool 3 after seeing this, because if this movie can do all this, then I can't wait to see what Deadpool 3 can do. So let's start out with some basic stuff that's not spoilery. So this contains a lot of cameos, and basically the story goes, without spoiling too much, Kang the Conqueror has trapped all of the Avengers from different universes in this one universe, and told them only one universe can survive. And whoever wins and gets to the magical burrito in the center of this universe wins. They're the universe that can survive. So there's this whole battle. It's almost like Civil War, but you have like Iron Man fight against Iron Man, Captain America fight against Captain America. Like, again, I was talking about spoilers later, but like, it's incredible the amount of cameos and people you see in this movie. That I don't know how they were able to get some license for some of these characters, and I won't spoil how it ends. So let's start out with some basic stuff that are not spoilery. The characters were well done. Every character in this movie was well done. A little bit more about that in the spoiler section. Music in this, top notch. It's the one soundtrack I say would actually beat The Lord of the Rings in my mind. It's really well done. Now, I almost can't talk about the music without going into spoilers, so some of the music stuff some of the music has to be set aside to the spoiler section. The visuals, it's visually amazing. Some of these shots are just like, they compact so many characters doing so many things in that one scene. You're like, I'm blown away. I just finished watching the movie when I started recording this. I went to a 5 a.m. showing because I was like really hyped to see this, and man, it was incredible. Man, it's so hard not to go into spoilers, so I guess one last thing I would say is, yeah, the story's good, and it's worth checking out. So let's jump into spoilers, because I can't wait for this. Man, when King Kong walked in and started his own Avengers, it was what? How did they get a hold of King Kong for this? Or when the Terminator started fighting Elsa from Frozen, it's like, what the heck? And then like, you had Voldemort turn Darth Vader into soup, only to have the Emperor immediately crush Voldemort into a tiny bean. And you're like, how? What the heck's going on here? Luke Skywalker's fight against the Joker was absolutely amazing, because you got to see, because the Joker was played by Mark Hamill in this movie, at least one of the Jokers, and so you see this fight between them. This is like, what the, like, I'm blown away, like hearing those, like, the same voice, and like a different voices coming from this, like, but it's the same person. It's like incredible. Batman versus Iron Man was just a match made in heaven. That fight was amazing. At least one of my favorite moments was when Johnny Storm came in. You had him look straight at Captain America, and Captain America was just so confused, and everyone else was just like, why do they have the same face? There's so much going on here. When My Little Ponies came in and they got like destroyed by the Death Star, like, it was awesome. You had all these different characters just running in. How did they get a hold of all that? It's like, it reminds me of Ready Player One or Space Jam: The New Legacy. It's like where you have all these different characters, but even more so because then you give these characters like these depths and all. It's a very long movie for that reason, but it's like you have all these different characters all come together. You have like the same actor playing multiple different characters in the same scene, and they do such a great job like bringing all these different characters to life. Like with Beetlejuice coming out, it's like, it was kind of fun to be able to see Beetlejuice fight Michael Keaton's Batman in this movie. It's like, is that going to play into Beetlejuice later on? Like, you have all these different moments. It's like, but I think one of my favorite moments was when you had Superman just fly down and he just do the Superman landing, and then you just cut to Deadpool be like, oh, Superman landing. Then he just like chops off Deadpool's head and then just kicks it through a goal, and then you see a bunch of football players, or American people, would be soccer, at the World Cup, like kicking around Deadpool's head, and it's like, what the heck? Why is this in there? And it was like random, but it was so much fun. You had Taylor Swift comes on, and everyone's like, oh yeah, see, Taylor Swift was going to be in the Deadpool movie, but well, she's actually in Deadpool movie, but she comes on, and then she's about to sing a note, and then everyone just says, shut up, no one wants to hear you sing. And Mephisto comes out, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad for allowing her to be here. And he just goes over, and he's just melts her into ashes, and everyone just cheers. And it's like, that was random, but I kind of found it funny, especially because Mephisto's supposed to be devil. And I mean, yeah, you get the point. Yeah, when you have like all these like musical characters that come out and start singing music, and then people are like, shut up, and then they're like killing all these musical characters. It's like, brilliant. I don't know how, like, they didn't market this movie, but I thought this was just gonna be a Marvel movie, but this is DC, Marvel. All these different characters coming together. Like, you have Sherlock Holmes riding in on Smog, and you're like, how is this possible? Man, like, I wish the movie was on digital yet, because then I could show you all these different crazy images, but I can't show you yet, so let me explain what's going on, and I hope that you guys get to see this movie too, because it's just like, it's insane. I wrote down as much as I could, but it's like, you would have to fill notebooks and notebooks. I can't wait to see what new Rockstar's breakdown of this movie, because it's like, it would take hours and hours. They're probably going to split off into 10 different parts, and each one is going to be an hour long, because it's just so much. Like, each shot has so many different characters with all, like, you see how they interact with each other, and it's like, man, it was like Mario and Star-Lord fighting each other over who's the best Chris Pratt character. Even that Mario is not Chris Pratt. I'm sorry, he voices Mario, but he's not Mario. I'm just gonna put that out there. But it was kind of funny just seeing those two interacting. And then you have character from Jurassic World. He comes in and he starts fighting them too as Chris Pratt, and you have all these different Chris Pratt characters. My favorite was the moment when the Chris Pratt from Parks and Recreation come in, and he's like, he's more chubby, and everyone's like, okay, this one is chubby, but he was able to defeat them all by the power of being the best Chris Pratt. Chucky fighting Velma from the Velma show, and everyone was cheering on that they vanquished this terrible version of Velma. It's a must watch in my mind. This movie is just so filled with different cameos. Every shot is just, I can't get over this. Man, this movie is good, and I strongly recommend you guys check it out. So with that being said, have you guys watched this movie? Of course you guys haven't. April Fools. I've been wanting to make this video for the last year. Actually, the last year. Practically ever since I started this channel, I had this idea of April Fool's Day. I want to put out a really, really crazy video. So last year I've been thinking about making this, and I finally decided, yeah, this year I'm going to make a completely crazy video. I was originally going to take the time to write up a whole script, and then I decided it would be even more funny if I just turned on the camera and just start speaking into it and just come up with the most random stuff off the top of my head. So hopefully some of those stuff came out to you. Hopefully some of those things you guys found funny. This was a lot of fun to make. Man, if that movie actually came out, that would be insane and way too expensive, but hey, it was fun to make this video. And if any of you guys like this idea, you can also take this idea and make your own videos off of this, explaining other characters. Like, I didn't really talk about how Indiana Jones was in this movie and all that type of stuff. But hey, yeah, this was a lot of fun to make. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. This has been the Movie Night Reviewer, Peter Wary, signing off.